There was a girl, quiet, unnoticed, living in a small town where nothing extraordinary ever happened. But in her room, on the floor scattered with pencils, compasses, and papers, she was doing something no one could explain. She was drawing maps. Not of her street, not of her city, not of her country, but of places she had never seen. Places no one had ever visited. At first, her family thought it was just imagination, a child's game. But the details were too sharp, too precise. Rivers had names, mountains had ridges, even villages had roads. She would whisper, almost in a trance, "This is the way to the old bridge. Here's the valley where the wind never stops, and if you follow this road, you'll reach the sea." But she had never left her town. Soon, the walls of her room became covered with paper. Each map connected to another. They weren't separate drawings. They were fragments of a world, a hidden world. And then one day, a visitor arrived. A geography professor passing through who heard about the girl who makes impossible maps. At first he laughed, but when he spread her papers across the floor, his face froze. Because one of her maps matched the outline of a real island, one so remote only satellite images had captured it. How did she know? The professor asked her, "Where did you learn this?" The girl simply smiled. "I've never been there, but it's inside me." And from that moment, her life was no longer her own. News spread. Scientists, travelers, journalists, they all came to see her. Some said she was a genius cartographer. Others whispered darker things, that she was cursed, that she had memories not of this life, but of another. She was invited to a university in another city. For the first time, she left her town, carrying only her rolled-up maps. The professors placed her in a lab, gave her blank sheets, and asked her to draw. She closed her eyes, and her hand began to move. Hours passed until she revealed an entire continent no one had ever recorded. They compared it with geological scans. It was real. The rivers, the valleys, even the fault lines matched places under the ocean, places that had sunk thousands of years ago. Some called it evidence of Atlantis, others called her a fraud. But when explorers followed one of her maps, they found ruins deep in the jungle that had never been on record. Ancient stones, overgrown with moss, carved with symbols that looked eerily like the markings she drew in her notebooks. How could a girl who had never traveled know this? She began to have dreams, strange, vivid visions. She saw people in old clothes walking streets made of stone. She heard languages no one speaks anymore. She smelled the smoke of fires that hadn't burned for centuries. When she woke up, she rushed to draw them down before they disappeared. But the more she mapped, the weaker she became. It was as if with every line she drew, she was giving away a piece of herself. The girl was no longer just creating maps. She was remembering them. By now, the world knew her. Some wanted to protect her, others wanted to use her. Treasure hunters, governments, secret organizations, they all wanted access to her maps. She was just a teenager, but she carried something ancient, something bigger than herself. One night,
She woke up and began to draw furiously.
One night, she woke up and began to draw furiously. Her hands shook, tears streamed down her face. This was not just another fragment. This was the map she had been waiting for. When it was done, she whispered, "This is the last one." The map showed a place no one had ever heard of, a valley hidden between mountains, cut off from the world. But in the center of that valley was something strange, a circle, a symbol. She insisted she had to go there. Against all advice, a small expedition was formed, scientists, explorers, and her. They traveled across deserts, through rivers, into forests, following her lines step by step. And just when hope seemed lost, they found it. The valley, hidden from satellites, hidden from history. And in the center, ruins of a city long forgotten. Stones shaped exactly like those she had been drawing since childhood. Everyone was stunned, but she walked forward calmly, as if she had come home. On one wall, there was an inscription, ancient, unreadable to anyone else, but she read it aloud, fluently, as if it were her first language. The words shook them all. We are the cartographers of memory. Our maps are not of places we go, but of places we never left. And in that moment, they understood. She wasn't inventing. She wasn't imagining. She was remembering a world lost to time, a world her soul had once walked. That night, she sat under the stars, maps spread around her like wings. And for the first time, she whispered not of rivers or mountains, but of herself. Maybe we all carry maps inside us, not of geography, but of memory, of lives we've lived, of worlds we've forgotten. Mine just happened to spill onto paper. And with that, she stopped drawing, because she had finally reached the last map, the one that led her back to herself.